Hey guys, it's Ben, coach of the Baltimore Oriolus, here with IBL Week 2. We are taking on Techno and the Carolina Pantherians, reigning JBA D-League champion and NPL Minors champion, and also, I think it was the Hive All-Star and Summer Showdown, something like that. Techno's kind of good at this game. Hands down the best player in the IBL. I played him once a long time ago, almost 2 years ago now, back in GOT Season 1. For those of you who don't know, GOT was a tournament a long time ago, and I won it somehow, because apparently I used to be good at Pokemon or something. And Techno and I played in the semifinals. It was a very close game. I did get helped out by a 10% flamethrower burn on his Mega Absol by my Mega Manectric. That opened the door for Double to sweep later, but we're not talking about that right now. Let's talk about Techno's team for IBL. He's got Mega Mawile, Greninja, Torrentee, Dougie, Breloom, Entei, Heliolisk, and Golbat. Very scary team. His Z-Captain is, of course, Tornadus. So let's hop right into the team we're bringing. First up, we got Mew. Physically defensive. This is my dedicated Mawile switch-in. I do have a Steelix on my roster, which I could have brought to this game, but I felt like that was too predictable of a Mawile switch-in. He would prep for it. The Mawile set I expect him to bring is Sub, Player, Focus Punch, and Sucker Punch. Focus Punch for the Steelix, of course. He sets up a Sub on the Steelix switch-in, which, of course, this isn't going to happen because I'm not bringing Steelix. But in his mind, he would set up a Sub on the Steelix switch, Focus Punch the next turn, get off huge damage, and make it, not a viable switch-in anymore. Sucker Punch is great for priority for him, and my play-rough resists are Steelix and Beedrill. Beedrill is absolutely not a resist, and Steelix is dying to the Focus Punch anyway, so I do think that's the set he's going to be bringing. So, Rocky Helmet Mew, I can take, I think I take 50 to 60 from a play-rough, something like that. And I can just roost stall him out, because I'm obviously going to be able to outspeed him. And he's either going to miss, or he's going to maybe try to set up a Sub, maybe switch out. But either way, Mew is a pretty reliable switch into Mawile. And if he wants to set up a Sub, I can go for a Taunt, which, like I said, I don't expect him to have Swords Dance. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's Sub SD, player off Sucker Punch. I don't know. So in case he does have Swords Dance, I do have Taunt for that, just so no shenanigans happen. Psychic and Thunderbolt for coverage. Thunderbolt hits Greninja, which is what Psychic doesn't hit. Mawile is the only thing that resists Psychic and isn't hit super by Thunderbolt. And Thunderbolt is also nice for doing more damage to Tornadus, because that could potentially be AV or something bulky set. Next up, we got Swellow. Again, switch-ins don't exist. His normal resist is Mega Mawile, which I'm planning on getting that chipped down over time, because my entire team kind of baits in Mawile in a way. It's probably not going to be a switch-in to Swellow, because he does need to keep it healthy. It's probably going to be more like a revenge killer to Swellow if he doesn't bring Scarf Gren or Scarf Torn, which he kind of has to bring. So yeah, his Boom Burst is just in Mawile. What else on his team can take a Boom Burst? Maybe AV Entei if you wanted to bring that. I don't think AV Torn can take two. Heat Wave is, of course, from the Mawile, huge turn for momentum, and I have Guts for my ability because there's no Ghost Wave again this week. There's no reason not to run Guts. And I've got Defog there for a filler. Next up, we got Banded Weavile. You'll notice I have Focus Punch. That's to catch the Mawile on a switch, because Mawile hard walls Weavile. I was thinking of bringing Natural Gift Ground on Weavile for the Mawile, but that's a one-time use, and it doesn't have any boosted damage with the knockoffs and the Icicle Crashes, and I wanted more damage output from Weavile stabs when it's not hitting Mawile. That's what's so great about Weavile. It's got a really nice attack set, boosted even further by the item, and also, switch-ins don't exist. Except for, Mawile. So I do have Focus Punch for the Mawile, and I do want to keep the Choice Band, so I have the extra damage output. Next up, we got Mega Beedrill. An odd EV spread. Let me explain. We have enough physical defense to live an Adamant Dugtrio's Earthquake. If you wanted to run, Scarf, he would probably, just think he would be able to bot me turn one, but I do have enough bulk to live one, and I should be able to one-shot him with U-turn. I can only assume. I haven't actually calculated that, but if I don't one-shot him, I will be stunned. We've got Knockoff there for the Golbat, because that's probably going to be his dedicated switch into Beedrill. Drill Run for the Mawile. Drill Run, I believe, almost 2 at KO's Mawile, because he has the Intimidate boost if he comes straight in, and then with the Mega, he gets the extra defense. But Knockoff is nice for the Golbat. Golbat just kind of walls Beedrill otherwise. Next up, we got Tangela, very specially defensive. I have enough bulk to... Well, Max Bedef lives 2 Ice Beams from a Greninja, assuming it's not Expert Belt or Life Orb or anything like that. It's a pretty safe Greninja switch-in, so is Olomola, but we'll talk about that in a second. So, Tangela. I've got Stun Spore there for the Tornadus, and also, I guess, Mon's Greninja, and I don't know. No, not Dougie, he wouldn't stay in with that, but Stun Spore is really nice for his team, so I'm definitely expecting something like Scarf Gren or Scarf Torn. I don't know if I mentioned that already, but if I can Stun Spore one of those on like a switch, he wouldn't switch in Gren, but you get the idea. If I can get off a Stun Spore on one of his fast mons, that would be happy times for me. And Tangela can live a Tornadus' Hurricane from full, assuming it's not like Life Orb boosted or anything, assuming it's not in C. Then I can get off Stun Spore. HP Fire is nice for them all while in Breloom, so they can't set up subs if they're going to be. Leech Seed is just a really awesome move in general. Lastly, we got a very weird Alomomola EV spread and set. Let me explain. Mirror Coat. I tacked this on last second. Let me look at this team again. Mirror Coat is nice for Tornadus. That's why I'm bringing it. Tornadus alone. Because, like, I have no Tornadus switch-in. And I don't have one at all on my roster. Otherwise, I would have brought it. Steelix resists the Hurricane, but then it gets bopped by, like, a Z-Focus Blast or a Z-Heatwave. Rotom is not a switch-in because he can just get its item knocked off. If I want to run Scarf to outspeed, goodbye item. If I want to run Culver Berry, okay, cool. I took less damage from the knockoff, but I'm not going to be able to switch in again. Tornadus is very scary for my team. If he comes in at an inopportune time, problems arise. So, all my mons, I think all of my mons have something for a Torn. Mew has Thunderbolt, gets off good damage there. Swellow does absurd damage with Boom Burst anyway. If I'm locked into Heat Wave, that could be an issue, because then I'd be forced to switch. Weavile, I hope I'm not locked into Focus Punch when it comes in, but like if I were to kill him all while on the switch with Focus Punch, then he goes into Torn. Problems arise. Beedrill, if he's not Scarf Torn, like I said, could very easily bring Scarf Torn. If he's not Scarf Torn, P-Jab's going to be doing a lot of damage. Doesn't quite kill. So I'd have to U-turn out first. Tangela, like I said, it can live the Hurricane and can Stun Spore it, making it less of an issue. And Alomomola, all it can do is Mirror Coat it. Like, I was thinking about running Toxic, but that would kind of counteract the Stun Spore. That wouldn't really make any sense. So Mirror Coat is just for the Tornadus. It could be nice for the Heliolisk if I wanted to bring that, or if I wanted to do that thing. But I do have Wake Up Slap on Alomomola. And well, it's for two reasons. One, it 2-hit KOs Heliolisk. Not that that would ever help me, because he 2-hit KOs me and he is faster. Like, I mean, I guess I could predict the switch, but stuff happens. Like, I can predict a switch into Heliolisk and he can Thunderbolt me, and I should be able to live that, I think. I have enough special defense to... Special defense is for something else, I think. And maybe it's to live 2 Hurricanes from a Torn. I think that's what it is. But I have enough special defense to live a Life Orb Thunderbolt almost all the time. Like, an absolute max roll would kill me from full. But I like the EV spread how it is, so I didn't want to have to add a little bit more HP. If he specs, that's an issue. But I expect him to bring Sub Heliolisk. Sub, Thunderbolt, Hyper Voice, Surf, because that actually ripped through my team. So Wake Up Slap does 2-hit KO the Heliolisk, which otherwise would wall Alomomola. If you wanted to predict a Mirror Coat, like if he Volt Switched out on Alomomola with Heliolisk, and he wanted to predict a Mirror Coat, I would just go for a Wake Up Slap that turn. Well, ideally, obviously it's easier said than done. I would go for the Wake Up Slap, because he would go into Greninja if he was predicting the Mirror Coat, because, you know, that's immune. He might have, like, Taunt on Gren. I think Gren gets Taunt. I don't know, actually. Don't quote me on that. And, I mean, after a Volt Switch, Alo's definitely going to be in Gren range, and if I don't go for a Mirror Coat, I would just go for a Wish, then, well, I guess Gren might lose him a little momentum depending on the set, because Alo should be able to take a hit from Gren. But anyway, yeah, that's what Wake Up Slap is there for, to hit, like, Greninja and Heliolisk, which would otherwise wall, and might be able to set up subs. And Liquidation is nice because physical Alo, man. And I don't think any other move would make more sense over it. You could argue that Scald would make more sense for, like, for the Mega Mawile if it wants to try to sub up on me, because, I do have a little bit of speed on Alo. That's speed creep the Mawile, speed creeping me. I could run Skull to try to burn it before it gets up sub up, but I would just go into Mew anyway. So that's the team. I don't think there's anything else I forgot to mention. Torn-T is very scary. I feel like I prepped okay, not great. Like I said, I really just need to win a game to get my confidence back, man. Like, I know I'm a good player, but with the results I've been having lately, I just don't even know anymore. So I guess I should mention Beedrill and Tangela. Did I mention this already? I don't know if I mentioned this already, but I dropped both of them, as well as Clefairy, because I wanted a real fairy type, so I picked up Whimsicott, and I dropped Beedrill for the Tentacruel. Tentacruel helps me with my hazard game. It gives me another real fairy resist, because otherwise it was just like Steelix, and like Beedrill's not a fairy resist. So Steelix plus Tentacruel, I have some fairy resists now. Whimsicott gives me a real fairy type, and Tentacruel also helps with the hazard game, so I did make those transactions. It's very sad that I have to drop Tangela, but I think it is for the best. So thank you guys for watching the team builder, and I'll see you in a minute for the battle. I'm scared. I just want to win. Maybe miracles will happen. See you in a minute. And with the magic of editing, we are back over a week later. So, quick shoutouts to Austin for joining my team, Joe for recording my game, and shout out to Salk and Brendan for helping me out with some technical difficulties trying to get this game into OBS so I can record it. So, shout out and thanks to those guys. So let's hop right into the game here. Techno does bring the Entei, Mawile, Greninja, Heliolisk, Dougie, and Torn. Leaves Golbat and Breloom on the bench. The team is still very spoopy. Torn switching don't exist, Entei switchings don't exist. As you can see, he's going to lead off with the Entei. We'll talk about that. And I'm going to lead off with the B-Drill, because I felt like that was my best lead overall. But in hindsight, it might not have been that smart, because I was going to have to scout for a potential Scarfer anyway, because he's gonna have to bring some wacky Scarfers on this team. He could bring Scarf Entei. He could bring Torn, Greninja, potentially Dougie. So he's going to lead off with the Entei, as I mentioned before. So, not wanting to risk a Scarf Sacred Fire, I'm going to go into my one switch in, which is a Lomola. And I guess it never really struck me in prep that if this thing burns me, I'm kind of screwed, because then I'm like super Mawile fodder. So he's going to go for the Sacred Fire. And scary things happen. He's going to get a crit, which doesn't really matter, but it's annoying. Fortunately, no burn. The crit did actually mess up my calc there for a sec, because I had forgotten there was a crit, so I thought he was banded. Then, like, maybe 30 seconds later, I realized my mistake, so... yeah, he's not banded. That leads me to believe he might be Scarf. So I'm going to go for a Wish here. It seemed pretty safe, so I can get a free switch on the next turn into whatever I want, essentially. He's going to go into the Torn here, and, you know that I have Mirror Coat on Alomomola? So, I'm going to click that here. And, this is my best chance to get rid of the Torn, and he misses the Hurricane. That would have killed. Torn would have dropped turn... Torn would have dropped turn 3. Thing got really annoying later on. It probably wasn't game-changing. Charlie didn't make a difference in the long run. I'm going to go for a wake-up slap here, predicting him to pull a switch into Heliolisk, thinking he couldn't go for an offense. He couldn't go for a special attack, but he's just going to go for a Dark Pulse, get off some extra damage. Now he's going to U-turn out into a Pokemon. He goes into Dougie here, I think. Yeah, he goes into Dougie as I go for another Wish. Yeah. So now I don't know what his item could be, but it's probably Sash. I'm just going to go for the Liquidation, though, anyway, just in case it's not Sash, so I can still one-shot it, because I don't think Wake Up Slap one-shots. I don't know. I mean, Dougie ain't exactly bulky, but Aloe ain't exactly powerful. So he's going to go for the free Stealth Rocks here. And I am going to go for the Liquidation. I didn't prep very hard for Hazards, which really bites me in the butt later, as you'll see. So Dougie is knocked down to its Sash, as you'll see here. And I'm going to go for another Wish on this turn, because I realized that if he Mementos me, Wish is the only play that would make sense. If he wants to pull a switch, then Wishing Up gives me momentum, because I can pull a switch into whatever I want and heal it up. And he's going to go into Tornadus. And I'm going to Wish Up. So, Torn is in. I know he can't go for a special attack, so I think he's going to go for either a knockoff or a U-turn. With that in mind, I'm going to be an absolute retard and go hard into B-Drill on the Torn. And, fortunately, there's no Hurricane. He didn't go for the Hurricane, so my ass was saved there. So B-Drill is going to get healed up back to full from the Wish, but that gives him momentum on the U-turn as he goes right back out into Entei. And this thing just screams Scarf at this point. So with that in mind, I'm basically forced to go back out into Lomomola, which is, I mean, it's my only switch in, because I need to keep Mew at full health for the Mawile, otherwise my Mawile check is out the window. So Lomomola comes in on his Sacred Fire, because it's a free Sacred Fire. He knows that if he burns this thing, that would be really huge for him. All 4 of my moves have been revealed early. So there's a Sacred Fire, 50% burn chance, and there it is. So Aloe is now hyper set up fodder for the Mawile. It really can't touch Torn if he plays around it. It's not going to be hard for him to play around. Gren hard walls it. Heliolisk essentially walls it. It's basically dead weight at this point, but I need to keep it around as my only Entei switch in. I see he's going to pull a switch into Torn here, as I go for the Wake Up Slap, predicting the Heliolisk. And on this turn, that was a crit. Nice meme. All right, it's been a while. I don't remember exactly what happens on this turn. Let's see how this plays out, shall we? He's gonna go for a U-turn. Yeah, that makes sense, because you know he can't go for the offensive move because of Mirror Coat. Do I Wish Up here, or did I already Wish Up the previous turn? He's gonna pull a switch into Heliolisk now. Okay, yeah, I did I did correctly predict the switch, and I went for the wake up slap and got off 2 damage. Nice. If I wasn't burned, that would have gotten off some decent damage there. But if he didn't burn me with either of those 2 sacred fires, that would have seemed like kind of hacks. Hacks are my favorite because that would be not. That would, the odds. It would be hacksy for him not to get one of the burns, so it just makes sense that he did. So he's gonna go for a Volt Switch here. It's the freest Volt Switch in the world because I didn't bring my Electric Immunity. And he gets a free switch into the Tornadus. And my switch-ins don't exist to this. From this range, I cannot take a Hurricane, and he knows that. I'm pretty sure he Hurricanes here. He might just go for the U-turn. We're about to find out. He does go for the Hurricane, yeah. And I do avoid it a second time, so that's kind of cool. This time it actually helps me. And let's see, what happens here? Does he do the thing? He must go for the U-turn. Yeah, because Mirror Code is risky and scary, boy. I had to go for a Wish here, right? As he goes into Gren. I might have gone for the Wake Up Slap. No, I went for a Mirror Coat. Yeah. Alright. I did go for a very passive play there. In hindsight, that was kind of stupid, but I mean, hindsight is 20/20. So yeah, Gren is in. He's gonna go for this. Oh, right! He has spikes! That was the thing that happened. He's gonna reveal the spikes, and all of a sudden, things are scary. I go for the Wake Up Slap here, trying to, like, scout for damage, see how much I'm doing. I'm doing, like, absolutely nothing. So that really sucks. And, like I said, I didn't prep very well for hazards. I didn't really expect spikes on Greninja. It didn't really cross my mind, but I guess it does make a lot of sense. It really hurts my Regenerator core. That was a good bring. Really should have seen it coming. So now I was going to pull the switch into Mawile. And I believed I pulled the switch into Tangela here. Yeah, I do. Now that I have Tangela in, it's a 50-50 whether he wants to sub or if he wants to, like, switch out Fearing HP Fire. So with that in mind, I'm going to make a middle ground play and pull a double of my own. As he's going to pull the switch into Dougie. Oh yeah, it was just for sacking it off. Duh. I'm gonna go into the Mew here, which I did name. I don't know if I mentioned this in the video or not, or in the team builder or not, but I had to rename it because apparently the name Bronson Sucks doesn't really work on Wi-Fi. So I changed it to Catmiss because Bronson Cadmiss, and the whole Mew is a cat thing as a meme. I might have explained that already. I don't know. Maybe I'm retarded. So he was gonna go for the Earthquake on the Switch. Was this on the Switch? I'm stupid. No, this wasn't on the Switch. So, and I'm going to go for the Roost here, right, because if you wanted to go for Memento, Roost only made sense. If you wanted to pull a switch, Roost got me back up to full after the hazards. So, Roosting was definitely my best play there. So now I'm going to go for the Psychic just to finish it off, as he's going to reveal Screech, which is kind of strange, but it also makes sense, because that really, it really just puts it in range for stuff like Mawile, Entei, like half his team. Okay, well, a third of his team. I'm not good at math. So now he gets the free switch into Entei because with, what, 2 layers of spikes, was it? And Roxa, Aloe isn't a switch in. But I don't really have a choice. I have to pull a switch, and it has to be into Aloe because nothing else switches in. I am at full, but he can just chip me down so easily now. Flare Blitz is still getting off really good damage. And by really good damage, I mean... that's not as bad as I remember it being. So I'm back up to... I'm up to half health. So I have to go for a Wish here, and he knows that. So that gives him a free switch, which he essentially gets a free switch anyway, because Aloe is such fodder, because it can't do anything on the offensive anymore. But I do have a hope here. I have an idea. I go for the Wish. And I'm going to full switch into Tangela here. Because after Rocks and Spikes and the Volt Switch damage, Tangela will be back up to full with the Wish. And he's going to go into Tornadus. And with that in mind, I can live the Hurricane and Stun Spore it. And Tornadus will become a lot less of an issue, and maybe I can more easily play around it. So that's what I'm going to try to do here. I do pull a switch into Tangela. And he is going to go for the Volt Switch, as expected. So maybe I've got a chance here. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe miracles happen. And English good speak. So yeah, in comes the Torn. And I realize this is really the only thing I can do here. I have to hope I can land the Stun Spore, and then he doesn't crit the Hurricane or anything. So he's going to land the Hurricane now. Third time is the charm indeed. I gotta hope for no confusion. I do land. I go for the Stun Spore. And I miss. So I need to preserve Tangela. because I need the Heliolisk switch in and I need the Greninja switch in. So I have to go into Mew for lack of anything else. I was going to go for the U-turn, and it didn't really hit me that I hadn't revealed Rocky Helmet at this point, so that's kind of annoying that I have to reveal that. I can't, like, bluff a Z move, I can't bluff Culver Berry, I can't bluff anything else. So he's going to go into Gren here, and Dark Pulse is a roll to kill me. No. No, I'm stupid. We'll get back to Mew versus Greninja later on. Okay. So now I'm going to pull a switch into Aloe, thinking that's basically all I can do. He's going to go for a Dark Pulse. And I can't take another one of the... never mind. I'm really remembering this game well. What is he? He gets it for free Dark Pulse. Oh no, he switched. Oh right, that's a free Mawile play. Right. He wants to keep this thing. He wants to keep Aloe healthy, or he wants to keep it alive, so it's Mawile fodder. So here I am going to pull a switch into Weavile. Yeah, I go into Weavile here because I figured Weavile could eat up the Dark Pulse. So now we have Weavile versus the Mawile here, and yeah, I'm getting chipped down really fast. I don't need to keep pausing like this, but I feel like it. So yeah, Weavile in on Mawile. I can't really pull a switch because I don't have a switch in. Nothing on my team switches into Mawile because Mew is at half health. It's going to die after spikes and rocks. So I kind of have to just stay in and sack Weavile because it really isn't the most expendable mon anyway. So I'm going to go for the Icicle Crash because I feel like that's all I really can do. He's going to Mega Evolve, of course. And Icicle Crash is doing okay damage, like I think like 30 to 40-ish, give or take. And I also have the flinch chance. So that's basically what I have to bank on here. I'm getting a lot of damage off. And by a lot, I mean not much. And maybe getting a flinch. So I do get off some defense damage. And lucky me, I get a flinch. So now he knows he has to keep the Mawile healthy. And in hindsight, I do make a kind of a stupid play here. Because he can calc that. He knows it's banded. And I mean, Techno's a good player. He knows that I'm locked into Icicle Crash, and he can get a free switch into Entei here. No fear of knockoff, nothing like that. And he needs to keep Mawile healthy enough so it can still, like, set up a sub if he has that. So it can still, like, take the hits it needs to from, like, Mew, so it doesn't get killed by an Alomomola. So he has to switch here. That just makes sense. So what I should have done is I should have gone into Aloe, as this would have been a perfect opportunity to heal out up in front of the incoming Entei. But the idiot that I am, I'm just going to stay in and hope he stays in, and he doesn't stay in, and he goes into Entei, and yeah. Like, after I clicked Icicle Crash, I was thinking, you know, maybe it would have been smarter to predict the Entei switch and pull a double into Aloe, but he's going to go into Entei, of course. And Icicle Crash does okay damage, but like I know at this point he's got to be Scarf. So here I'm going to try to pull a switch into Aloe. And at the time, I thought he only had one layer of spikes up, but I think he had 2 layers. Actually wait, was it 1 or 2? I don't remember, to be perfectly honest. Basically, I thought I'd be able to take 2 of those after hazards, 2 Sacred Fires after hazards, but I was wrong. I couldn't take 2 of those after hazards. So that's fun. So now here I've got to pull a switch because I need to keep Aloe healthy, man. Otherwise I have nothing for Entei. So here I'm going to sack off Weavile. I should have just stayed in the first place. That was really stupid of me to just pull the switch. This is going to go for another Sacred Fire. And Weavile's going to drop. And things are not looking good. Not that they were looking good to begin with, but... so now I believe I have 3 Mons left. Aloe, Mew, and Swellow? I also have Beedrill. I have 4 Mons. Oh, I have 5 Mons left. I'm stupid. Alright, so now I'm going to go into Aloe, because I have no choice but to go into Aloe. And I'm going to Wish Up. And, Right. I'm a stupid. So now, if he wants to go for like a sub or an SD, if he wants to not attack Alomomola, because she might try to preserve Aloe as fodder for Mawile, I'm going to pull a switch into Tangela, see if I can maybe heal it up, since this would probably be my only opportunity. And I would like to keep this thing healthy for the Greninja and the Heliolisk, but he is just going to go for the player off and kill Tangela on the switch. So now I have to go into Mew, as it is my dedicated Mawile check. And I'm going to try to roost up on it, since that's all I can do. Since, you know, I can take a player off, and I'll be able to outspeed. he's going to pull a switch into Greninja, just harden a Ninja. In fact, I wonder... I could have Thunderbolted there. That would have been a really... That would have been an IQ 5000 read. So yeah, I'm going to go for the Roost, and now Dark Pulse is a roll to kill me, and frankly, that's a roll I've got to take because I don't have a switch in. He's going to go for the Dark Pulse, and he kills me. I think the roll was still in his favor, but I mean, it was a roll regardless, so I had to take what I could get. So now I have to go into Swellow. I have 3 Mons left, Beedrill, Swellow, and Aloe, and I realize the only way I can conceivably pull this off is going for the Defog here. I don't have a choice but to go for the Defog and maybe immaculately play with Beedrill and Alomomola to pull something out of my butt. Because Beedrill does have defensive investment, it can live a Mawile Sucker Punch. Maybe miracles can happen. So that's what we're going to bank on here. So I'm going to Defog. Fortunately, I was able to live the Water Shurikens. And now, I believe I just sack Swellow because I don't really have a safe switch, as he's just going to go for another Shuriken. Swellow's going to drop. I'm down to my last 2 Mons. In comes Beedrill. And he gets the free Water Shuriken, of course. On the off chance he wants to go into Mawile and I play as a Drill Run, like 95% of the time is just as good as like P-Jab. So I don't really have a reason not to Drill Run. I'm not afraid of the 5% miss. As he is going to stay in and sack a Ninja, going for the Water Shuriken. I believe he got 3 hits, was it? No, just 2 hits. That was pretty nice. And I do kill with the Drill Run. So the only way I can conceivably pull this off is playing, like I said, playing immaculately with Alomomola and Beedrill. I have to find a way to do stuff with the thing. So he's going to go into Entei, and of course my only play is to go into Alomomola, because now that Hazards are gone, I can actually take 2 Flare Blitzes. Here, on the next turn, is going to go for the Flare Blitz. I'm going to be able to eat that up pretty well. Even though I'm burned, I'm still getting chipped down a lot. Here, I do make a bit of a misplay. What I should have done is I should have gone hard Beedrill on the incoming Mawile, because you know Mawile is incoming. And I believe I could have lived a Sucker Punch, although I was chipped down a bit, so maybe I made the right play by wishing up. But had I gone into Beedrill, I might have been able to get off a Drill Run, and I don't think I would have killed. Depends on his investment. He did have speed on Mawile, the speed creep Aloe. Oh, I went for Liquidation. Oh, right, because I figured if I need to kill thing. Yeah, here I shouldn't have gone for the Wish. Basically, I should have tried to make an aggressive play into Beedrill, since that was like all I could have done. He's gonna go for a sub, and scary thing. So yeah, Mawwile's behind a sub. There's nothing I can do. I think 2 liquidations would be a roll to break the sub, since 1 liquidation when I'm not burned is a roll like 23 to 28 or something. So the first liquidation, not gonna break, of course. He's gonna get up an SD, and is essentially GG at this point. I'm hoping for a miracle, like maybe some play rough misses and just some crits from the liquidation. I mean, Aloe's healthy again, but it ain't taking a play rough. So now I'm gonna go for another liquidation, of course. Maybe I can break the sub. Maybe he doesn't have Sucker Punch for some reason. And maybe Beedrill can pull off an amazing reverse sweep. Maybe he misclicks with the Entei. But the second liquidation doesn't even break the sub. So down goes Aloe. To 1 shot, which is 1 shot by the play ref. Mawile is just absurdly broken. In comes Beedrill. And yeah, that's GG. There's nothing I can do. As he does reveal the Sucker Punch. So good game to Techno. I feel like I did play that a little sloppily. I mean, I did make some good plays, I feel, but like with the Weavile and with the... I think it just came down to bad prep. Because, like, I had no switch into Entei, because Aloe just became setup fodder for the Mawile. I didn't have a Torn switch in. It was just really ugly. Not my best performance. I've been on a very cold streak. I'm not going to have this white screen up because that's disgusting. Here, take this. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, not exactly my best performance. I didn't really prep very well for this game. But I did mention the transactions I made earlier on. I have Tentacruel and Whimsicott on my roster now. Maybe the new additions to the team can help me come back or something. I don't know. Yeah, we're 0-2. This is a pretty bad start. I would say this is the worst that I've ever had in a draft league, but CPL happened. Yeah, I've been in a really cold streak. This really bad. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next week when we take on JB.